Hey everybody, it's Carm here, coming to you on a rather chilly Sunday evening in early October. Yeah, have some recent listens here. An incredible VCLT package from Jeff. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun listening to these and learning a lot of new music as well as some older music that I've been familiar with. I've listened to about 10 so far, and I have 7 here to show. First, I'd like to show this, which I just received. The new / older album by Derek. I believe it was recorded in 04, Wastasis. Really enjoying this. Some really nice, I guess you could call it soundscapes. I think it's probably in like Sonospheres 2 territory more than say Flyover. And I'd have to say this is probably my second favorite next to Sonospheres, for my own taste and sensibility, even though I've enjoyed everything. But it's funny, I could have swore I ordered, because I think there was a cassette-only version of this and a box set which included the cassette, 2 limited edition versions. And I thought I just ordered the cassette, but I ended up getting the whole box, so I'm not complaining. Here's the tape here. I added the case later because it just came in bubble wrap. It also has a CD. And a couple of cards. Looks like Derek's collages. So, very nice. And it was on the In Fact label out of Greece. A little pin and a sticker. So yeah, very nice job, Derek, if you're watching, and a nice job by the label getting this together and putting it out. And yeah, very enjoyable. I'm not sure how many of these are left, but really happy to have it, and I would recommend it if you like the more soundscape side of what Derek does. This is a great representation of it. So very nice. Well, on to the records. Yeah, I'll just show these in the order that I listened to them, which is the same way I got them out of the box. Just pulled them out and just went in that order. I think that was Jeff's intention, was to kind of have it somewhat grouped by genres and then just kind of flowing one into the next. And yeah, a lot of these are in the similar vein, kind of Latin, bossa nova feel to many of these. I'm starting with the soundtrack here, Man and a Woman. Appropriately very romantic, times melancholy and even whimsical. To me, it just has like a really light, airy feel about it. You can imagine hanging around like a cafe or maybe swinging in a hammock or something. It has a really nice, easygoing feel to it. Mostly female lead vocals, singing in French, sounds like, with some orchestral accompaniment. But, yeah, just very enjoyable. And I'm kind of curious about the movie now. So it's pretty nice. Back to Jobim. Excellent stuff. All this time I had never had a Jobim album. I heard a lot of his music covered by others, but to finally hear being played by the person himself in the band, there he is there. It's from 1970, and Joe Farrell is on here playing sax, and Ron Carter on bass, among others. And of course, Girl from Ipanema, the first tune on here. I've heard it so many times, nice to hear it from the source. So very enjoyable, really has a nice bounce and lilt to the whole album. Just sets a great mood. So very enjoyable. In a very similar vein, Rainforest by Walter Wanderley on organ. I love this cover too. Love to have this character in the backyard amongst my greenery. Girl from Ipanema is also covered on this one. It's neat to hear the 2 versions next to each other from one album to the next. It sounds like a Hammond B3 might be played here, very out front in the mix, very much playing the lead with some, again, more like orchestral backing, horns, and just a nice jazzy stuff. Kind of that somewhat exotica in a way, which kind of indicated by the cover. But, yeah, very enjoyable, and has that same quality as the other 2. It's like they all just a great narrative flow. Burt Bacharach, Living Together. I had heard a little bit of his music over the years and had enjoyed it, and the first time I actually have an album by him, and it's pretty enjoyable, especially the instrumental pieces, which, you know, I'm partial towards. Yeah, Monterey Peninsula is my personal favorite cut. And again, just very light and breezy, and yeah, you could imagine being kind of on the coast of somewhere, just, you know, just maybe staring out to sea and just enjoying it. Yeah, it's very well composed, arranged, and performed. Honestly, not something I would normally go for my taste, but it's really great to have this. So, you know, it's like everything else, it's much appreciated. See a few more. Sergio Mendes in Brazil '66. Yeah, also similar. You see, presented by Herb Alpert. It is kind of like the Tijuana Brass in the sense that it's, you know, the kind of Latin, you know, the bossa nova with you know, covering a lot of pop tunes. Day Trippers on here, Going Out of My Head, Spanish Flea. Yeah, just a lot of fun stuff. Again, with me being partial towards instrumental, I mean, the vocals are very nice, but, you know, I'd like to hear more instrumental, you know, stuff, which it's kind of interspersed here and there, but still enjoyable, and it's, you know, something I guess I'm catching up with, because I've heard of this for such a long time, and, you know, finally having it is really nice. I know I have one other album by him, but it's neither of these. And this one I think I even liked more so. Crystal Illusions. Again, very cool cover. Let's see, what are some of the tunes on here? Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. We Stepped Out of a Dream. Let's see, Pretty World. Yeah, just interesting hearing some of the renditions of these, you know, in that style, the bossa nova style. So it was pretty fun. It's a group I'd like to, you know, I'd like to look into what, you know, maybe like the span of their career and kind of just hear how they've evolved. But it's pretty nice. And for this final album, something completely different and pretty heavy. It wasn't quite prepared for this. Yeah, Chronophagie, music of Jacques Lasserie. Yeah, it's basically like a sound sculpture, a collaboration between, you know, a sculptor and a composer. It seems to be. Also, additionally, you have tabla and flute, as well as bass, flute and bass violin, or upright bass. Yeah, really heavy acoustic soundscapes, which you could almost mistake for electronic, or, I mean, you wouldn't mistake it for electronic, but some of the textures that are heard here you might associate with some of the early electronic music, like tape music. I've only given this one listen, and I think I'll have to give it a few more listens and maybe talk about it further in a future video, because there is, you know, there's a lot here to really absorb. It's, you know, it's pretty heavy stuff, and you know, just enjoyed it a lot. You know, this is the kind of thing I listened to a lot of, you know, similar soundscapes back in the 90s, you know, whether it was free improv, where it was more like the acoustic textures, which resembled electronic music. But yeah, great to have this, and you know, again, appreciate it like everything else, Jeff. You know, if you're watching, yeah, it's pretty heavy. You know, can't really describe it much more than that. But yeah, more to come in the future. Well, thank you all for watching. I'll have maybe 7 or 8 more for the next time, and yeah, just as I listen, I'll, you know, just keep presenting them. And I don't know if you could hear it in the background before. It's kind of quiet now. Yeah, Echoes in the Night. Forgot to show this in the last video, because I always, you know, I had this playing. A couple people were asking about it. This is the previous video by Uri Ganani. Yeah, I really like this series, this Tranquil Mood series. I've been collecting it since the early 90s, and maybe one day I'll do a video, you know, as this as a theme. So yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. Well, until next time, I hope you're all doing well. And yeah, peace, love, and joy, and you know, just enjoy. Take care, everyone.